You were never meant to blend in. From the moment you were born, you felt different. Not in a way that made you superior, but in a way that made you question everything. You looked at the world and something never sat right within your spirit. Why does everyone march in line when their soul is screaming for freedom? Why does the system reward silence and punish authenticity? You saw it early, didn't you? The way schools dulled imagination, the way society celebrated numbness, the way truth was hidden in plain sight. And somewhere deep down, even as a child, you knew you weren't here to follow that path. You were here to burn it down with the fire of your frequency. We aren't rebels because we hate the world. We're rebels because we love truth so much, we're willing to lose everything for it. We're the ones who couldn't ignore the whispers, who couldn't numb the knowing, who couldn't pretend that what's accepted is what's right. And that's why the Matrix fears us. Because it knows that once a chosen one remembers who they are, it's game over. The system only works on those who forget, those who comply, those who shrink to fit the mold. But the moment you stop apologizing for your light, you become a glitch, a virus in the simulation, a living portal to something far beyond what this world has been programmed to accept. The Matrix is not just the government, the media, or the economy. It's not just about politics or corporations. It's a frequency, a collective agreement built on fear, control, scarcity, and shame. And the only thing powerful enough to break that agreement is vibration, not violence, not rebellion in the traditional sense, but the vibration of a soul fully aligned with its divine truth. That's why they distract you. That's why they give you endless content, endless conflict, endless noise. Because the moment you go quiet, the moment you tune in, the Matrix begins to dissolve. It cannot survive your awareness. It cannot exist in your coherence. It collapses in the presence of your remembering.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound insights.
Have you ever walked into a room and felt the energy shift just because you showed up as your true self? That's not arrogance. That's resonance. Your vibration disrupts the illusion. You don't have to say a word, your presence speaks frequencies. And those frequencies are encoded with liberation. You are a walking key, a breathing, vibrating code that unlocks dormant blueprints in others. And that's why your journey has been so intense. The Matrix doesn't fight what doesn't threaten it. It only fights what it knows it cannot control. That's how you know you're on the right path, not because it's easy, but because it's real. We've all been through the fire. The nights where it felt like the weight of the world was crushing us. The betrayals that cracked open our hearts. The losses that made us question the point of it all. But what if I told you those moments weren't punishments, they were activations? What if the chaos was coded to awaken the dormant parts of you? To strip away everything false so that only the truth remained? Because that's what the Matrix fears most, not your success, not your money, but your honesty. Your raw, unfiltered, untamed truth. That's the sword that cuts through illusion. That's the light that shatters the veil. And now you're starting to remember, aren't you? You're seeing the patterns, the illusions, the way the media manipulates your perception, the way fear is used like currency, the way you were taught to obey, to conform, to never question. But what if everything you were told was backwards? What if the ones they labeled crazy were actually awake? What if the ones they silenced held the codes to our liberation? What if you've always known more than you were allowed to say? And what if now is the time to finally say it? You see, your vibration is not just a personal journey. It's a planetary assignment. Every time you choose truth over comfort, you shift the collective field. Every time you speak from your soul, you collapse an old timeline. Every time you love without condition, you rewrite the program. You are not just healing yourself, you are healing the grid. And the more of us who do this, the faster the matrix falls. Not through war, but through awakening. Not through force, but through frequency. What if we didn't need to fight the system? What if we just needed to stop feeding it with our energy, our attention, our fear? But to do that, you must get radically honest with yourself. Where are you still plugged in? Where are you still pretending? What parts of you are still performing for approval? Because the matrix isn't just around you, it's in you. It lives in the thoughts you inherited, the beliefs you never questioned, the fear you normalized. And the only way out is into your own programming, into your own shadow, into the parts of you that still believe you're not enough unless you fit the mold. That's where the real rebellion begins. Not on the streets, but in your subconscious. It's time to stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the world to change before you do. You are the update. You are the shift. You are the revolution. Not the loud kind, but the vibrational kind. And it starts with how you wake up in the morning, how you speak to yourself, how you treat your body, how you show up in your relationships. It's in the micro moments, the small choices, the daily decisions that say, I remember who I am, and I will not betray that for anyone. This path won't make you popular. It won't guarantee comfort, but it will give you something far deeper: sovereignty, clarity, alignment. The kind of peace that comes when you stop outsourcing your truth. When you stop trying to please a system that was never designed for your freedom. When you realize that rebellion is not resistance, it's remembrance. You are not here to fight the matrix. You are here to out-vibrate it. To become such a pure, potent, powerful expression of your divine self that the old world simply cannot hold you anymore. So the question is, who are you when no one is watching? Who are you when you stop performing? When you stop hiding? When you stop waiting for the world to change and become the change itself? That version of you, the raw, wild, radiant you, that's the one they feared. That's the one they tried to program out of you. And that's the one who's rising now. The rebel, the misfit, the chosen. The one whose vibration cannot be duplicated, cannot be silenced, and cannot be stopped. We're not here to survive. We're here to disrupt, to dismantle, to decode, and then to rebuild a world based on resonance, not rules, on truth, not tradition, on love, not fear. The old world is dying. Let it. Stop trying to resurrect what was never real. Stop trying to fit into a system that's burning for a reason. Instead, become the signal for the new. Tune yourself to the frequency of freedom, of authenticity, of soul. Because the more you do, the more you'll attract others just like you. Rebel chosen ones scattered across the earth, waking up at the same time, remembering the same mission. You'll feel them. You'll find them. You'll recognize them not by what they say, but by how your soul responds in their presence. This is the reunion, the uprising, the collapse of the old through the embodiment of the new. You didn't come here to play small. You didn't incarnate on earth at this time to just pay bills, follow trends, and die with your truth locked away in your chest. You came here with fire in your soul, with codes in your DNA, with a mission that can't be reduced to a resume or a title. You are here to disrupt the illusion and embody a new reality. And you don't do it by shouting louder than the noise. You do it by becoming so vibrationally aligned that the noise dissolves in your presence. That is the revolution. That is how we break the chains. Not by reacting to the matrix, but by transcending it through our frequency. And yet, the matrix is cunning. It doesn't always fight you with force, it seduces you with comfort. It flatters your ego. It offers you a false sense of belonging if you'd only just betray yourself a little. It wraps its chains in luxury, approval, validation, and numbers. But you know better. You felt the price of that transaction. Every time you silence your voice to be accepted, a piece of your soul shrinks. Every time you choose safety over truth, your light dims. And every time you abandon your alignment for external results, you lose resonance. That's how the matrix feeds. Not on your rebellion, but on your compromise. So let me ask you, how many times have you betrayed your knowing just to feel like you belonged? How many times have you dimmed your light to keep others comfortable? How often have you swallowed your truth because the matrix made you believe it would cost you everything? And can you feel the accumulation of that weight in your body, in your spirit, in your vibration? That heaviness is not yours. It's the residue of misalignment. It's the buildup of living in a frequency that denies your essence. And the only way to clear it is to stop negotiating your soul's truth with systems that profit from your silence. We are not here to be liked. We are here to be felt, to be remembered, to be so radically authentic that our energy becomes a mirror for others to see where they've forgotten themselves. That's the power of a rebel chosen one. You don't need a platform. You are the platform. You don't need permission. You are the permission. You don't need an invitation. Your very existence is the activation. And when you realize this, you stop chasing the matrix for scraps and start building realities that honor your soul. Some of you have been asking, where is my tribe? Where are my people? But you must understand your soul family doesn't find you through marketing or networking. They find you through frequency, and you can't fake that. You can't attract aligned souls while you're still pretending to be someone you're not. The moment you drop the mask, the moment you start living your truth unapologetically, they begin to appear. One by one. Not all at once, but with divine precision. And you'll know them not by their words, but by how your energy expands in their presence. That's resonance. That's recognition. That's the new world forming. But to get there, you have to stop outsourcing your power. Stop waiting for the matrix to validate your worth. Stop asking for permission to be who you already are. You are not here to be chosen by the system. You are here because you were chosen before you came. And the mission was clear. Come to Earth, awaken within the illusion, and remember your essence so fully that your vibration alone begins to collapse the old grid. That's not poetry. That's physics. That's quantum. That's reality-shifting frequency work. And you're already doing it every time you choose alignment over fear. We must also speak about the fear of being seen. Many of us have carried past life memories of persecution, exile, rejection. We've been punished for our truth before. We've been burned, silenced, cast out. And those memories don't just live in stories, they live in your nervous system. So when your soul says speak, but your body trembles, that's not weakness. That's wisdom resurfacing. But this is a new timeline. And you're not here to repeat the past. You're here to rewrite it. You're here to speak anyway. To show up anyway. To shine anyway. Not because it's comfortable, but because it's coded into your mission. There will be moments when you feel like walking away from it all. When the path seems too lonely, too uncertain, too heavy. That's when you must remember, the Matrix wants you to believe you are alone. It thrives on isolation. But the truth is, we are everywhere, hidden in plain sight, broadcasting through frequency, finding each other through vibration. And when we gather, when we hold the line together, something extraordinary happens. The old systems lose their grip. The false timelines begin to unravel. And a new earth begins to emerge, not through politics or protests, but through presence. This is the time to reclaim your presence, to stop shrinking to fit into a world that is dying, to stop apologizing for your light, to stop explaining your intuition to minds that were trained to reject it. You don't owe anyone justification for your alignment. You don't need to wait for the world to understand before you live your truth. You just need to be it. Fully. Fiercely, unapologetically. And as you do, you become a living transmission, a walking portal, a lighthouse in a storm of confusion. You are not just here to wake up, you are here to wake others through your frequency. And that happens not by preaching, but by embodying. Not by convincing, but by resonating. Not by fighting, but by vibrating so high that the old cannot survive in your field. That's how the matrix breaks. Not by force, but by frequency. Not by war, but by resonance. And your resonance is your responsibility. So ask yourself now, what are you broadcasting? What frequency are you holding when no one is watching? What energy are you depositing into the field with your daily choices, your thoughts, your actions? Because that is your real vote. That is your true rebellion. And that is your weapon against the illusion. Not anger, not division, but vibrational integrity. The courage to be fully aligned, even when no one claps for it. We are not waiting for the world to change. We are the ones who came to change it. Not by fixing the old, but by embodying the new. And it starts with us, with every breath, with every choice, with every act of radical truth. You are not too late. You are exactly on time. You are not too much. You are exactly what this world needs. You are not alone. You are part of a frequency family rising together to rebuild reality from the inside out. You don't have to scream to start a revolution. You don't have to burn cities or tear down governments to create change. All you have to do is remember. Remember who you were before the world told you who to be. Before the Matrix installed its programs: fear, shame, scarcity, hierarchy. Remember the energy that lived in your body before you were taught to distrust your own instincts. That memory is not gone. It's encoded in your DNA, waiting for your awareness to unlock it. And when you do, when you remember your original frequency, not what you were told to be, but what you are, you break the spell. You unplug from the illusion, and in doing so, you become a living proof that something else is possible. But here's where the Matrix fights hardest: the moment you start choosing yourself. It comes for your mind through doubt. It comes for your heart through loneliness. It comes for your body through fatigue. Because it knows if it can keep you disconnected from your inner truth, it can keep you plugged into the system. The system depends on your self-rejection. It runs on your self-abandonment. So when you start to love yourself fully, radically, unconditionally, you are doing more than healing, you are disrupting. Self-love, real self-love, is not a trend. It is a spiritual revolution. You are reclaiming your energy from the machine and redirecting it back to your essence. You've probably noticed that the more you align with that essence, the more the world around you starts to shift. People fall away. Opportunities change. The things you used to tolerate become unbearable. That's not you becoming difficult. That's your vibration becoming incompatible with anything false. You are no longer available for relationships that require your silence. You are no longer willing to keep your truth hidden so that others can stay comfortable in their illusion. That willingness to be real, even when it costs you everything, is the frequency of liberation. And every time you choose it, you send out a ripple through the quantum field that affects all of us. We're not here to destroy the world, we're here to transform it. But transformation doesn't come from the top down. It doesn't come from institutions or leaders. It comes from the inside out. From one person remembering, then another, then another. That's how the grid collapses. Not in a single moment, but through a million micro-awakenings, or a million acts of alignment, a million souls choosing to be real, even when it's easier to conform. That's how we win. That's how we rise. Not through domination, but through coherence, through alignment, through truth. And so you must ask yourself, every day, am I in alignment with the world I want to live in? Or am I still compromising for the world I was taught to survive in? Because you can't build the new while feeding the old. You can't embody liberation while negotiating with fear. You can't lead others out of the matrix if you're still seeking acceptance from it. That's the trap. That's the loop. And the only way out is radical honesty. The courage to look at your life, your choices, your vibration, and ask, is this really me? Or am I still playing a version of myself that was created to be palatable? The real you is not palatable. It's powerful. It's raw. It's wild. It's divine. And when you let that version breathe, when you let that frequency flow, you become dangerous to the system. Not because you're violent, but because you're free. And freedom is contagious. It wakes others up. It challenges those still asleep. It makes people uncomfortable, but it also makes people remember. You don't have to preach. Just be. Be so fully yourself that others feel safe to do the same. That's how we rebuild. Not by force, but by example. Not by revolution, but by resonance. There will be days when you feel like giving up, days when the weight of the world feels unbearable. But those are the days you must remember why you came. You didn't come to live a safe life. You came to live a true one. You came to be the frequency of the new earth. And that frequency is not always easy. It's not always comfortable, but it is always real. And in a world built on illusion, realness is the most radical thing you can offer. So when you doubt yourself, pause. Come back to your breath. Come back to your body. Come back to the moment. The Matrix doesn't live in the now. It lives in the future, in the past, in the stories, in the projections. But in the now, you are free. In the now, you remember. In the now, you reconnect with Source. And from that place, you don't need to figure everything out. You just need to feel what's real and move with it. That's your compass. That's your path. That's how the new world gets built, one aligned decision at a time, one authentic moment at a time. You might be wondering, but what can I do? The answer is become. Become the frequency. Become the embodiment. Become the signal. When you walk into a room, walk in as your full self. When you speak, speak from your soul. When you create, create from your truth. Don't try to change the world from the outside. Change your vibration and let the world respond to that. Because it will. It always does. The universe is an echo chamber, and what you send out comes back multiplied. So what are you sending? What are you broadcasting? What are you becoming? Let your vibration be so strong it breaks the spell for others. Let your presence be so rooted it makes others question their own programming. Let your love be so unconditional that it erases the shame coded into every cell of a generation. That is the work. That is the mission. That is why you're here. And even if no one claps, even if no one sees, even if no one understands, you know, you feel it. That electric current of truth running through your veins, that sacred fire that refuses to go out. That's your compass. That's your confirmation. And when you live from that place, you don't need anyone's approval. You become your own authority. Look around. The system is cracking. The illusion is thinning. The world is waking up. And you, yes, you are a crucial part of that awakening. Your path matters. Your voice matters. Your energy matters. You are not insignificant. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are part of a divine intelligence that placed you here, now with everything you need to fulfill your mission. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present, fully, fiercely, freely. So the next time you feel small, remember this: the matrix only works if you forget who you are. But the moment you remember, even for a second, the whole thing begins to collapse. Not in anger, not in chaos, but in truth, in presence, in vibration. You are not here to escape the matrix. You are here to override it. From the inside, with your frequency, with your being, with your love. Now go. Live as the vibration that breaks the spell. Walk as the signal that reprograms the grid. speak as the voice of a new world, and never again shrink to fit into a system that was never built to hold your light. You are a rebel chosen one, and your vibration is already breaking the chains of the matrix.